Good morning, Arsene.
Good morning.
We'll start away from football. As a proud Frenchman, I'm sure your thoughts are with the families involved in the tragedy in Paris this week.
Yes, it's a dreadful and terrible situation. It's shocking. I think the whole country is shocked. And France is a country where freedom of speech is a big history. And to think that in a country like France you can die today for your ideas and the way you want to speak is absolutely shocking. And I think the whole country is under shock, and I hope that at the moment the whole country is united, and I hope it will not create a divided country. The consequences of that will not be terrible for the country.
With due respect to that situation, we'll move on to the football side of it, and Arsenal play at the weekend against Stoke. Your team news, please.
The team news is that Ramsey is back in training, that Özil is back in training, Flamini back in training. So we got 3 players back. Welbeck is still not available for Sunday because he's a bit short, but maybe next week he will be available. And of course Giroud is back from suspension. So we have a bigger squad than last week.
When are we likely to see Özil on the pitch?
He will have one training today with the squad for the second time because he was sick. So he certainly will be available for Sunday for selection. Will I start him or not? I haven't decided yet.
How big a miss has he been this season?
Look, he's an exceptional football player, and he gives you always continuity in your game. He's a very creative player, and ideally you want all your best players available. But the advantage of these players, for example, Giroud, Koscielny, Debuchy, Özil, at the moment where most of the players in the league have 26, 27 games in their legs, they have 4 or 5. So if we can get them ready and fresh, they are, but competitive, it can give us a new impulse.
And just finally, one on Stoke. Obviously there was the defeat up there relatively recently, and another strong showing from them in the league. So what do you expect from them this weekend?
Look, Stoke is a good side, and it's always difficult to play against. At the Emirates we have a good record against them, a very good one, and we just want to continue that, to dictate our game. And you would speak about their game over there. I think it was under special circumstances, but we just want to. We are quite on a solid run, if you apart from a defeat at Southampton. So we want to continue that.
Arsene, does Wojciech Szczesny come back into goal for you this weekend?
I haven't selected the first 11 yet.
Will you take into account what happened at Southampton when it comes to selecting your goalkeeper?
I take everything into account.
How has he taken his punishment after being caught in the showers smoking?
I don't want to talk about that, because what happens in our dressing room stays in our dressing room, apart from the fact that he doesn't stay in there.
Is it damaging? Has it been damaging for the image of Arsenal Football Club?
I don't know, I don't think so. But ideally you want everybody to behave in a perfect way. And of course I think I like personally Wojciech as a person. When he makes a mistake, he stands up for it, and on that front I think he has as well contributed a lot to the good image of Arsenal Football Club, and I think he's a guy who learns from his mistakes.
I gather though that you have said that if anybody else gets caught doing the same thing on club duty, there will be further punishment. Can you expand on that for us?
No.
Is it true?
No, because I don't need to make a big fuss of that. You know, every club has its internal discipline and the rules, and I think it doesn't necessarily need to be public.
But would they have to train with the youth team? Is that what you
I
said?
don't want to talk more about that.
What have you made of what Wojciech's father has been saying just
I
recently?
don't listen to the fathers and the mothers and the grandmothers and the grandfathers.
he feels that Wojciech isn't perhaps developing as fast as he could do as a player. Are you happy with his development?
I'm happy with his development.
Let's talk about.
I try to give you a hard time, you know, right?
Let's talk about Lucas Podolski. He doesn't seem very happy with you either. Listen, he's accused you basically of a lack of respect. He said nothing to me, says Podolski, over his departure here. How do you reflect on Lucas Podolski's time as an Arsenal player?
Look, I deny completely. I had many conversations with him about going out on loan, and don't forget that he needed my agreement to go out on loan, and without my agreement he couldn't go. And I deny that completely.
Did he score enough goals as an Arsenal player?
The fact that he didn't get enough opportunities to play, yes, and because I knew that, I gave him an opportunity to go. And why? Because we have many players who can play in these positions, and at the end of the day only 11 can start, as you know that. And when a player like of his quality doesn't get enough games, at some stage too much competition is detrimental to the confidence of the players and to their positiveness, you know, and where you need the right number, and we had too many players in this area. It's nothing to do with his quality, but it's just down to the fact that we had too many players in the same area.
Do you expect it to become a permanent move? Do you think we've seen the last of him in an Arsenal shirt? Is there any way
Look,
back?
No, it's just a loan without an option to buy, so that means he is back at the end of the season.
Tell me what the latest is with Yaya Sanogo. I gather Steve Bruce has said that he is interested in taking him on loan.
Yeah, he will go out on loan, Yaya Sanogo. In my opinion, my option is preferably in England. We are very short today of an option in England, and certainly we go to an English Premier League club.
Is Hull the only?
Hull is one of the
only
opportunities. They have not positioned at the moment with us. I spoke with Steve last week. He is interested, but he hasn't come back to me about Yaya.
And tell me about, Loic Perrin at St Etienne. Have you been told he'll be £8 million?
No,
Is that too much?
No. We are not on the case.
And Gabriel Paulista, Villarreal.
We
Is he
are.
on your list?
We are not on the case. We keep all that as quiet as possible.
Would you be willing to see Joel Campbell go as part of a deal to anywhere?
No, I want Joel Campbell for the future to stay here.
Okay, just finally from me then, what's the latest with Christian Bielik, the teenager at Legia Warsaw?
He's a young boy that we follow, yes.
He says he wants to come.
You see, I give you some information too.
Thank you. How close are the clubs to coming to some agreement?
We are not very close at the moment.
Arsene, you say that Chesney is a player who learned from his mistakes. Has he apologised to you?
Yes, of course.
Why do you think he did that? Because, having a crafty fag, as it were, isn't perhaps the brightest thing to do in the shower, is it?
I don't want to talk more about that, I think he's a serious boy who works very hard, and he doesn't need all that. He made a mistake, It's not the first one and not the last one.
But the last one at Arsenal, I suspect.
I hope so.
Yeah. Ched Evans, he's been in the news this week, and what has been your take on what's been happening there?
It's a case I don't want to talk about because I don't know the case at all, and
The Harry Redknapp yesterday, for example, said that he thought Ched should be given another chance in football.
But I don't know at all what happened there, honestly, and I don't feel comfortable to talk about it because I don't know anything about the case from the start to today.
He's not a player that's interested you? Has he not been a player that's interested you?
No.
Can we talk goalkeepers more and look into the summer? Just rumours surfacing more and more that Petr Cech is a target in the summer. Can you make any comment on that?
No, Petr Cech is at Chelsea, and we have 3 goalkeepers who, for me, are top class, and at the moment is a big competition going on, and I have no doubt that we have a needed quality.
So no interest. In terms of Isco at Real Madrid, there was outlandish figures being bandied around of 64 million. Anything there?
Isco?
Yes.
No, we are not on, because we have plenty of creative players, and we are short on the defensive side of our game, but not in the offensive side. You know, we have plenty of offensive players. We just spoke about Podolski, who went out speaking about Sanogo going out, because we have so many offensive players where they don't get a chance to play. So we wouldn't buy somebody else in the attack.
And finally, Dennis Wise's son has joined the academy this week, hasn't he?
Who
Dennis Wise's son?
has joined the academy?
Yeah, here. Okay.
No.
James. Arsene, I'm sorry to go back to this, but how hard is it for a manager to control players smoking? Because essentially it's a personal choice, isn't it?
Not harder than control you to smoke or not to smoke. You can do what you want at your home, and you have a freedom to do what you want at home.
So you have no issue with a player smoking in his personal time away from the ground?
Look, my issue is that the players here are judged on their performances. Ideally, best to be have a high level of performances to behave as well as possible, as close as possible to the rules that allow you to be performant. But if I give you a list, I'm against smoking, you know, but I have grown up in a period where I had to accomplish military service. At the end of the month, we got paid by cigarettes, you know. So they incited us to smoke after, and after, of course, slowly it became banned. Now it doesn't exist anymore. But when I was a young boy, I grew up surrounded by smokers. I smoked myself after my when I didn't play anymore, when I became a young coach, and we got only alerted later.
Because in days gone by, players would smoke or have a drink and then turn up and still play. I mean, are those days, do you think, unrealistic now? Are they gone?
No, human beings are human beings with their strengths and weaknesses, but that has not changed. We know it's not good.
And then obviously talk of what's happened with Wojciech, but you did have an issue with Jack Wilshere as well and Nicholas Bentner when he was here. Was there a wider problem maybe here that you felt you had to address?
No, I don't feel so. I don't think so. If you look at overall, these players are all professional. Jack Wilshere was on holiday, and you cannot control the players on holiday. You know, it's different.
And just in terms of Stoke, is the challenge that they pose completely different when you play them at home as to when you play them away from home?
Yes, it is, because they are always specially motivated against Arsenal, because they are up there. We create some excitement when we get there in with their crowd, and overall it's always a heated game. But I think this season it was a winnable game against Stoke, at Stoke, you know, and we could feel really came out frustrated of a game, because we had to play when you came back to 3-2 with 10 men, and should we have stayed with 11, I think we would have come back in the game.
Thanks everyone. Just take the microphones out, please.